intention can have a very seemingly negative effect on a system, meaning like a family system, or if you've been at a job for a really long time and you have a very close-knit group of fellow employees. But let's talk about family today and what happens when you start practicing intention and your family system goes, whoa, what just happened, right? I've got good news and I've got bad news. Good news is they're going to notice the change. It is going to make a difference. The bad news is they're going to notice the change. It's going to make a difference, okay? And so you need to know that as soon as you start showing up with a different kind of energy and a different kind of presence to family gatherings, especially if you're an adult who's coming back into their family of origin, you're going to experience a lot of discomfort and they're going to push back on you quite a bit. That's just how it's going to be, because family systems have this unique kind of thing that happens and it just does. It's just a part of every family system, whether it was a really positive family environment or it wasn't so supportive. Either way, this still happens, and that is that everyone gets assigned a role. And it's never verbally spoken for the most part. It's just understood that that's your role. So my role in my family system was to take all the crap. I was the scapegoat. I was the one that was to blame for everything that went wrong in the family system because I was too emotional. I asked too many questions. I was too much. That was my role. And so when I started pulling back and I started practicing being loving in my family of origin, it upset the apple cart like nothing else because people were mad at me for not playing my role anymore. And so for me, it all came to a head one time when my dad, this is such a powerful illustration for me, and I hope it is for you too. We were in the middle of arguing about something, and I was not arguing back. I was just accepting what he was saying as his truth, and I wasn't taking it in, and I wasn't arguing with it. And at one point, he got so frustrated that he said, well, he didn't say it. He yelled it at me. He goes, "Would you just yell back at me?" And I thought, oh, that's so good and so sad at the same time, right? Because he's calling me to my role. My role has always been to be the one who stands up to dad, who argues with dad. The scapegoat then gets to be blamed because she argued and she stood up, right? So as long as I do my job, the family system is still stable. Even if it's a really dysfunctional stability, it's still stable. Everything's normal. Everybody can go about business as usual. But as soon as one person changes all of that, then we have a huge issue on our hands because no one else knows how to act if one person gives up their role. It would be like if you were in the middle of a play and somebody started saying the wrong lines or just started putting in what they thought the line should be. All the other actors would freeze and they wouldn't know what to do next, right? And that's what happens in our family systems when we show up in a different way. So choosing how you show up is going to change the family dynamics, and you need to be prepared for that. You need to know it's coming, and you need to be calm about it. Just take it in and become an observer. That day when my dad yelled that at me, I felt like it was an out-of-body experience for me because I was watching, almost like I was watching from outside me, all this interaction between him and I. And I realized that from that day forward, our relationship would always be different, and that my role in the family system would be different. And I'm still the scapegoat, but I'm no longer accepted into the family system. So I'm not a part of my family of origin anymore in any formal sense. They're polite to me if they see me at extended family gatherings, but beyond that, we don't really have an interaction anymore by their choosing. And I'm okay with that because I am still being loving, and I'm still in a place of healing, and I'm no longer enabling some of the really bad behavior from myself as well as from my family. And so that's one of the reasons that we do step out and we do heal and we do something different and we do choose to show up differently is because when one person does it, it's an invitation for everyone in the family system to move towards their own healing and health and well-being. And even though that hasn't happened yet in my family system, it's always my prayer that it's going to happen. And it's always my hope that it's going to happen, that if I continue to show up and practice being loving no matter what is thrown my way, that eventually someone else in my family system will wake up and go, oh, I could have that too. I'm tired of the stress. I'm tired of the dysfunction. I want to break free too. And I want to have that kind of love and light in my life as well, and that kind of joy and peace. And so it's super easy to get discouraged when you start to do this in your family of origin, especially if you've come from a really toxic family system where dysfunction was very, very normal. It's not normal. And so you want to change that. You want to shift it. And one of the best ways that you can shift it is to start with yourself. So I encourage you to maybe watch this again and reflect on that and think about, like, what is going to change if I step into a new way of being, a new way of being present in my family system? Am I willing to be with that change, no matter how uncomfortable it becomes? And then I also encourage you to watch some more of the videos that are in the family series, especially the one on tribes wound, betray, and abandon the people who try to change the tribe or try to change themselves or try to change the tribe by changing themselves. At least that's the perception that's created. And also to look at some of the videos that are also about how do I actually do this? Like, what happens when I get the crap thrown at me and I want to be kind and generous and loving, but I'm being taunted to go back into my traditional role that's a very toxic role. So I encourage you to keep exploring this, ask your questions, and I will certainly put up more videos in response to those questions. This is a tough journey, and I'm here to support you on it because we want families that are full of love and full of light and peace and joy, who celebrate each human being in the family as special and unique and worthy, and that they have something to bring to the world and that they help each other bring that to the world. So that's why I want to talk about this, and I hope that your life is going to change as a result of us having this discussion.